Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Late Sunday night, Lincoln Riley, USC, land what I think is a fascinating commitment from the number one JUCO running back in the country, Waymond Jordan. And the reason I use the words fascinating is I think this kid is elite in the stuff that you can't quantify. Like, look, you can quantify size, and at 5'10, 205, it's adequate size, but it's not eye popping size. It ain't no Brian Jackson. You can quantify long speed. You can look at track and field times. You can normally get a sense of how fast this kid is when you turn on the film. And look, he's not slow. I'm certainly not saying he's slow, but I don't think the long speed is necessarily elite either. What is elite with this kid is the vision and feel for the running back position. I think it's specifically elite when he's dealing with offensive linemen pulling to the play side. And that's important to talk about because you look at how Lincoln Riley wants to run the football. It is involving offensive linemen pulling to the play side. And you dive into the film of Waymond Jordan, his patience, feel, and vision at the running back position to me seems really, really good. And I think that's what stands out to me about Waymond Jordan. And just quite frankly, you don't put up the numbers that Waymond Jordan put up at the JUCO ranks unless you're not a damn good running back. I mean, he's averaging almost 7.5 yards per carry, has ran for over 1,000 yards in 2024 at the JUCO ranks. Really, really productive. And you turn on the film and say, he just seems to be in such command of the running back spot. He knows how to pick through traffic. He knows how to be patient and let his block set up. And when his blocks do get set up, he's really, really good at finding that gap he's got to hit and then making people miss at the second level. I mean, that's the stuff that stands out to me about Waymond Jordan. I want to get into the film of this kid, break down a little bit about what he brings to USC. But I think one of my biggest takeaways here is, 4 weeks ago, we were really concerned about the running back spot, right? Woody Marks going to the NFL, Quentin Joyner hitting the transfer portal. It was largely a running back room that wasn't really proven. Now, all of a sudden, you're sitting here early January and saying, feel pretty damn good about the running back spot going into 2025, not only because you saw Brian Jackson, what I think really impressed in the bowl game against Texas A&M. You had Eli Sanders, who ran for over 1,000 yards at New Mexico. And then you had a guy in Waymond Jordan who's extremely productive coming from the JUCO ranks. Fired up to get into this one. I want to have two different conversations, one about Waymond Jordan, and then I think secondly, take a step back, look at what USC has brought in the transfer portal and talk about, hey, what are the other positions that USC needs to address? Before we get into it, as always, the USC fans, it's been a really fun last couple of weeks. It's been a busy last couple of weeks. The amount of support y'all continue to show to the boys as we're talking the transfer portal, as we're talking the high school recruiting trail, it continues to be amazing. Can't thank you guys enough. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Without further ado, let's get into this one. And I think you start with just the production, running for well over 1,000 yards, averaging 7.5 yards per carry. And again, this is not high school. I mean, it's JUCO, so it's a big jump from JUCO to the Big Ten, but this is not just him running all over 17-year-old kids. I mean, it's a very, very productive stat line in 2024 at the JUCO ranks. And you start diving into the film, and I think, again, the thing that stands out to me the most is the patience and the feel that he has at the running back position. I mean, he's patient. He's going to let his offensive lineman pull to the play side. He's going to get right in the hip pocket of his pullers here and just set it up. I mean, again, we're not just running with reckless abandon. We are patient in the backfield, letting our blocks unfold. And when it's time to put your foot in the ground and really start to get going, he can do that. And again, the vision is really impressive. And I say the long speed, look, excuse me, Waymond, the long speed ain't bad. He just very rarely gets caught from behind. But the thing I love the most is how patient he is as a runner. Again, offensive lineman pulling to the play side. We're going to be patient. We're going to let our blocks develop. And when it's time to stick our foot in the ground and start getting upfield, we can do it. And we can make players miss at the second level. And again, that's a defensive back that's trying to chase him down. The long speed is not bad. I probably shouldn't have led with that because that gives me the impression that the long speed isn't good. I think it's there. I just don't know if it's elite. But again, the vision and the feel for the running back spot, that's what's elite with Waymond Jordan. You continue to dive through the film, and again, we're getting guard tackle polar, like what we're going to see at USC. We're patient. We got some nice contact balance, which you like to see. And then when it's time to go hit the burners, we certainly can. And if you're a safety or linebacker taking a bad angle, you're going to have a hard time catching this kid. Continuing to work through the film, you continue to see just really, really impressive feel for the position. Again, we're patient. We're letting the block sit. And this is probably the rep that displays it the most, where our eyes are going to the second level. I mean, we're probably keying in on this guy right here. If he starts to creep in, we're going to bounce it out and we're going to find green grass. And every time you turn it on and look at these reps, it seems like how he sets up his blocks and how he kind of picks his way through traffic, for lack of better terms, it's impressive. Many of y'all know I'm a Michigan fan, and many of you guys probably know Donovan Edwards, the Michigan running back. Donovan Edwards had really impressive size. He had a really, really impressive long speed. From a physical trait standpoint, Donovan Edwards checked every single box imaginable at the running back spot besides the feel for the position. I mean, he was consistently not hitting the gap he was supposed to hit. He was consistently not finding the green grass when it was there. It's hard to kind of coach that into a running back. A lot of times it's just you either have it or you don't. And you can have all the traits you want in the world at the running back spot, but if you don't have a feel for the position, it's going to be hard for you to be consistently good. And the thing that stands out to me about Waymond Jordan, again, the production at the Juco ranks backs this up, is he just got a really, really darn good feel for the position. You continue to work through the film. And again, jump cut in the backfield. We see where the space is opening up, and we're going to take it. And then we're going to make him miss at the second level, kind of put him in the dirt. Yeah, the short area quicks are there too, I think. Long speed to finish the run. There it is. I like what Waymond Jordan brings to the table. You know, he deals with contact relatively well. But again, the thing that stands out to me the most is just the feel that he has for the position. And come on. That's what you're looking for right there. All right, you can get to the second level. Now can you turn a 10-yard run into a touchdown by making second-level defenders miss? Waymond Jordan can do that. I like this get a lot for USC. And again, you take a look at what USC has done in the transfer portal. I think one thing stands out to me the most. They've addressed the size on the defensive line, right? Keyshawn Silver, Jamal Jarrett, they are coming in and providing bodies that USC simply did not have in 2024. And if you want to have success in the Big Ten, you got to have big bodies on the defensive line. I think USC figured that out the hard way in 2024. DJ Wingfield, we talked about him yesterday. I haven't gotten into the New Mexico stuff, so we're going to do a breakdown on DJ Wingfield and kind of evaluate if he can play right tackle. This is a guy that I think will start for USC at one spot on the offensive line. Whether it's guard, which he did at Purdue all of last year, whether it's at right tackle, we're going to figure that out. But I do think you're getting a guy that can come in and start at one of the positions at multiple positions, which provides a lot of depth for the offensive line. You probably want to add one more offensive lineman if it's me. And again, do you feel good about guys like Justin and Tobias Raymond? You certainly feel really good about Elijah Page. You do, but you want to make sure you have that quality competition and depth on the offensive line. Landing one more offensive lineman that potentially gives you that guard tackle versatility is probably a big position for USC to address. You feel good about the running back spot. You feel good about the wide receiver spot. Look, I'm going to sit back and just let things unfold at the quarterback position. Lincoln Riley's not a perfect head coach. You know, I think we all know that. There are things that we want him to fix running this USC program. I will not sit here in my basement Monday morning and critique Lincoln Riley with quarterbacks. I'm going to let it sit. I'm going to let him sit back, and I'm going to let him manage that position, because if there's one thing we all trust Lincoln Riley to do, it's get a quarterback ready to play and play well. The other position that I think is a massive priority for USC is an elite edge rusher. You might have that on your team, right? Cam Fountain going into year 2 certainly could be that guy. Braylon Shelby, Anthony Lucas. There are some guys that you think you have the answers to, but think that a proven commodity at the pass rusher position needs to be addressed. Go back to 2024. It was one of the worst pass rushing units that we saw on the Power 4 level. Like, it just struggled to impact the quarterback. And because of that, Danton Lynn had to routinely bring pressure and kind of put his defensive backs in positions that you don't want to put him in all the time. When you have to bring safeties and linebackers consistently on blitzes to manufacture pressure on the quarterback, at some point it's going to put your defensive backs in bad spots. You got to get a guy that's coming off the edge that when it's 3rd and long, you can say, hey, we trust this guy to get after the quarterback. Now, again, maybe you have that on your roster going into 2025. You actually probably do, right? With Cam Fountain, with a guy, like Braylon Shelby or Anthony Lucas. I wouldn't mind a proven commodity there. Safety, maybe. I think maybe another proven veteran off-ball linebacker. But I do think that USC has addressed probably the biggest glaring hole, and that is the inside of the defensive line. Keyshawn Silver, Jamal Jarrett, Jakeem Stewart coming in as a freshman is going to be playing early for USC. They've done some good work. I think there's still work to be done, but I think they've done good work. We'll continue to break the commitments down as they come in. Appreciate you guys rocking with it. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll talk to y'all later. Peace.